Hi guys, hi from Andrea Unga. I just exchanged some emails about virtual losses. It was an email exchange where the topic was about the virtual losses, which meant that a loss is not a loss when the position is still open. So I don't have a loss if I'm still in position. This might be true from some point of view, but is also very false from some other points of view. First of all, if a position is losing, I'm losing some money, of course. It's true also that that position can go back into positive territory and end up with a good profit. This was also the example this guy wrote in the email. He said, I was losing on Friday, and on Monday, when I was supposed to close the position, I had gains. Perfect, I'm happy for him. But to what extent could we consider the loss a virtual loss or a real loss? Of course, when we plan a trade, we should have a stop loss level. And it's true that if a stop loss is not hit, my position is open and I could even ignore the loss because I know that there could be a loss once the stop is hit, but when it's not hit and it's not approaching that level, my position is still there, alive and kicking. The problem is when my account, my equity is too small to cope with the open position loss. Of course, this is an extreme example, but it might happen. So when, for example, my losses are too high to cover even, the equity remaining, the margin requirements for the trade, I might get in trouble and my broker could compel me to close the position in spite of the stop loss not being hit. This is an extreme example, but it might happen. For example, there are many option traders and they develop strategies, and these strategies, mostly because of the type of historical data available, are based on the close of the day value of the option. And based on that, they show all their nice backtests, and they say, look, I would have survived even the February 2018 crisis as well as the August 2015. Might be true, but the big question mark is, yes, but what happened during your position? For those of you who were sitting in front of the monitor in August 2015 and in February 2018, you know how crazy the market went, and you know how crazy the option prices became. So it might happen that in that case, in spite of an end of day close in your favor, during the day, you accumulated so high virtual losses to not to be able to sustain it, or not to be able to keep your account open, because you could even exceed your existing funds in some cases. So the big question is, what during, and ignoring the during might be very, very, very dangerous. So this is obviously, again, an extreme example, but it shows you how dangerous it might be to consider virtual a loss only because the position is still open. Another danger is for those who are investors or became investors because of a wrong trade, and who bought some stocks, maybe back in 2000 or so. You know how prices dropped afterwards, and some of the stocks lost a significant portion of their value. And the excuse is, okay, but I keep it because till I don't close the trade, I have not lost anything. This might be true again. Maybe you get the value back in 10 years, but it's not a way to manage the losers. It's completely wrong, because you might need that money. Same thing in bonds. You invest in bonds, you know that at expiry you will have 100% of the nominal value, so you don't care about the fluctuations of the prices during the life of a bond. Okay, but what if you need that money? What if all of a sudden for some dental surgery, you need that money. You have to disinvest, you have to close the position, and obviously you get the losses into your pockets. This is dangerous. So obviously there is no secret to avoid losses. As said, most of the positions, once opened, go into losing territory for a while and then might go and turn into winners. It's very difficult to have all trades that immediately go in profit and end up in profit. So we have to have some borders, but we have always to keep an open eye on the position sizing and on evaluating properly the worst case scenario, which is not only at the close of a trade, but also during the life of the trade, what could happen and could I survive that during? Take care of the during. This is my advice for the week, and waiting for next time to meet, I say ciao from Andrea Unger. Enjoyed it? Click the link below and you will be noticed as soon as new material is available.